All right, so let's get started. This is my review of Dynasty versus Spark in the May Melee. Coming into the May Melee, Dynasty was actually the lowest seed, right? So I guess Spark picked them. Is that right? Let me double check on that. Oh no, this isn't the seeds. Here we go. This is the seeds. So yeah, Seoul was the lowest seed. So Shanghai picked London, and then New York picked Chengdu. So Hangzhou just got left with Seoul. No one wanted to pick Seoul. So maybe Seoul was doing well in scrims or something. I don't know. Didn't they lose like right before? Like literally right before the picks happened? Yeah, Chengdu 3-0'd them. Literally the day before everyone picked their opponents. They got 3-0'd by Chengdu. And people still picked Chengdu above Seoul. New York wanted to play Chengdu. They could have picked Chengdu or Seoul, and they chose Chengdu instead. So, little respect there from New York. Shanghai picked London also instead of Seoul, which is really weird. Why do you think Seoul's flip flopping so bad? I do not know. What's weird is people were saying that it was an issue of what comps they were playing. Like if they were on double shield, they were good, but on other stuff they were bad. Or if they played double shield, they were bad. I don't know. I don't remember what everyone was saying, but they got rolled by Chengdu in dive, and then they showed up in dive and apparently did really well against Hangzhou. So I don't know. I don't know what changed. I haven't really been watching Seoul's matches recently. I did watch the Chengdu match, but that was just Chengdu playing like way better, I think. Like Chengdu was just playing super good. But like they almost beat Dragons, and I didn't watch. Or no, they did beat Dragons. They literally just beat Dragons, and then they got rolled by Chengdu, and before that they got rolled by Guangzhou. So it's like I don't know, bro. I don't know. But yeah, the fact that they beat Shanghai is probably why no one wanted to pick them. That actually makes sense. Okay, so let's get into it. So isn't that good at Echo? That's true. Profit's Echo definitely is not on the level of like the Echo specialists that other teams have. That's weird. They have Fitz on Echo here. Maybe that was their fix in this tournament is they didn't have Profit play it. They started having Fitz play it. I don't remember. They were in dive and beat Shanghai right before they lost to Chengdu. They didn't play Echo versus Shanghai. What, they play like Sombra Tracer? I don't know. I don't know what they played. Okay. Let me get it to where I'm not alt-tabbing onto that. All right. So, Hangzhou's pick, they pick Oasis. Oasis to me is the most balanced. It's the most balanced Koth map where you can kind of play any style you want, any style you want to force. You can play. If you like Rhine comps, you can play them in University and Garden. If you like dive comps, you can play them in City Center and Garden. If you like double shield comps, you can play them in all three. So it's very much like a super balanced map as far as strategic viability, I think. But I'm pretty sure both of these teams just want to play dive. So this is probably just Hangzhou's comfort zone, just a map they like, map they're comfortable on, because I think both teams will play very similar comps. It's probably not a compositional decision. Can you talk about counters to double shield? It's something I struggle with in comp. I think in competitive, the best way to deal with a double shield comp is either like on ladder when you don't have a team that's like playing together or stratting together, is either try and play some sort of Lucio Rhine. Like if you have a Rhine that you can just, either you're playing Rhine or you're playing Lucio, one of those two, and you can just be like, use your speed boost now, or I'm gonna speed now, and you just run at them. That works really well. Or if you're not in a position to do that, play something that can get around the shields and get value around them. So like Diva, Monkey, Ball for tanks. Sombra is kind of hard in competitive unless you're just really good at never getting forced out. So things like Tracer are good. Even things like Reaper, Echo, Hit Scan that you can like flank on if you want to just flank with Ashe all the time and try and get picks, stuff like that. And then on supports, just stuff to help people get around the shields, like Brig to armor pack them, stuff like that. Oh, I have a couple follows that I haven't called out. I apologize for that, guys. I've got Obey1 hour ago with the follow. Thank you. Dan Yed01. I appreciate it. And John Doe. Thank you. If you want to see how a team can counter double shield, I reviewed Spitfire's match against Shanghai, and Shanghai does a really, really interesting job of consistently using the Sombra Ana dive comp to set up dives even before they have their ultimates to start cycling. So if you want to see like a more in-depth explanation of how to counter it as a team, you could check that out. But I would say either just pick Lucio, Rhine, Thing, anything, and just W at them, or play heroes that get around the double shield and flank, right? Okay, so let's see. Both teams looking to roll out on dive. Weird starts here. Both teams probably having a Echo TP? Yes. Okay, so we have mirror compositions. Very similar rollouts. Both teams looking for jump pad control. They want to get the hack on this pack. Looks like Godsby already there, way ahead of Fitz. Gets the pack hacked. They still decide to play aggressively here, which is interesting, even though they don't have access to the pack. See, this looks like it's hacked for Seoul, though. Am I dumb? Godsby was there ahead of Fitz, right? No, Fitz actually is the one that gets it. Okay. For some reason, I thought Godsby got it. Okay. So that's why they get to play aggressive. So they get the hacked health pack. That makes much more sense. And they push their way in. And now both teams are on point. And, like, honestly, the only, like, difference here for this position, really, is the biggest one is, like, the Ana isn't really going to get pressured. She's probably not going to get good nades very early. The biggest advantage you have to holding this is what Fitz is doing right now, is having Sombra positioning. Because the Sombras want to be able to play on these off angles. Like, one team's tanks are going to play on this side, one team's tanks are going to play on this side, one Sombra here, right? And the idea is you want your Sombra to be able to safely shoot the other tanks, look for hacks, and just farm EMP, right? That's what you need to be doing early. Also, playing here, you have a little more space for your Echo. Echo can't do a lot over here, but it's not that big a deal. Really, the biggest deal is the Sombra. And because the Ana can see here, and this Ana cannot, that's why this position is significantly stronger for Seoul, okay? Their Sombra gets to be so much more aggressive because she is going to get help, okay? And the enemy Sombra doesn't get to do that. And if she does get aggressive, she's going to have to TP out. So we should see Fitz get really ahead in EMP charge here. EM Mike with the sub. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Now, it looks like what Spark wants to do is they realize that and they want to commit a little bit onto Fitz and force him to TP out, right? And that's one of the best ways to try and counteract the aggressive Sombra positioning here. So we see... Nope, not a full committal, just a little whip shot. So we're going to see Fitz continue to farm, already massively ahead on EMP. It's going to continue to be the case. Gushui even ends up dying here. And that's all she wrote. You got a much better nade from Badoshin, but really Hangzhou just kind of lost control of the fight entirely because they couldn't force that Sombra out. Okay, so for retake, let's see, they act like they're going to go traffic, then they start going top. They're very split with their backline, which is weird, but a little bit of a premature nano there for Gesture. He does have his primal already, though. He's putting his bubble down. is forced to jump out. Fat EMP. I'm not sure if they have the ability to get follow-up on it, though. And it's a Sombra copy from Prophet. I don't like that at all. Again, okay, they actually get the follow-up on this EMP. They rally as well, so this should be a one fight. Let's actually break this down, right? Because a lot of things happened to open this fight. So first of all, the whiffed nano. That's rough. Okay. Second of all, they're still trying to play here in the open, and both halves of the team are kind of pressuring them so that the monkey doesn't get to play here for free. So the monkey puts his bubble down, gets his healing cut off by a smart jump from Gushui, and has to jump out. And that means that Fitz is not going to have any help from the monkey when he uses EMP right here. Look at this. He uses EMP, and Gesture's just like barely zapping the other monkey. That's not what you want to do with the EMP, right? You're not really getting any value. Prophet had already used his beam, and this is a situation where they were trying to hold close. They got forced to back up a little bit, and they didn't actually have time to set things up to be able to follow up on this EMP. So it ends up just not really doing anything, just stalling a little bit for time. Really, the big play here is that hack onto Gushui, or Gushua. I think it's Gushua. I'm pretty sure that's how you're supposed to say it. I took a semester of Mandarin. I forgot all of it, but there was a semester in there. He still has not gotten this primal off. Oh, Gesture's gonna die. They go way too deep off this rally. Wait a second. Yeah, and I really don't like the EMP, like the Sombra copy in general in this comp. I'm not sure why you would need to do it. So Godspeed, good, just chilling there, waiting for people to engage so he can hack them. I think they got the sleep onto Gesture, and then they EMP'd and naded him. And you really, there's just nothing you can do as a monkey once that happens. And there's still so many ults available. They literally only used EMP. So they still have ults to take the point. Good bomb from Marvel to fuck up the engage. IDK dies. I'm not sure why his Brig Shield went down, but all of a sudden, backline is much more vulnerable now. Toby actually ends up being the one that dies here, which is interesting, but yeah, that was a really good bomb from Marvel. Still so many ults up from Spark, though. They're just slow playing and waiting for their team to come back so that they can start using these ultimates. Good touch. I think Sashin's actually playing this really well, honestly. Touching point again. Using his bomb first to touch point, sustain, split the team. Really good way to set up the bomb. Solid EMP from Fitz. Really solid EMP from Fitz. Adora with also a decent EMP. But as we can see, neither team is like hard committing or getting lots of follow-up or lots of value. It's like they play these like death ball tanky dive comps, right? But you still need to be able to execute when you use these big ults. Like, you should still be able to get kills with your EMP. You need to be using EMP and nade and monkey jump and actually killing something. Eventually, Gesture disrupts the backline enough that Marvel loses his mech. But Gesture now has his own... Oh, and the EMP gets canceled, I think? No, it does not get canceled. The EMP does go off. But it doesn't matter. The Primal is still killing everyone somehow. The Primal Rally. So let's watch Gesture's Primal. What is he thinking here? So he jumps up for sustain. Oh, the Ana is hacked. There we go. And that's why they're able to get this kill. Fitz. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is they just need to be able to coordinate more. It's really the Fitz, Prophet, and Gesture show. But the thing is, Fitz has to be the one on Sombra to initiate everything. He has to call everything out. He's the one with all the information, right? He's the one that knows where people are. He calls out his hack targets. He calls out his timings. So Gesture and Prophet are like this renowned dive duo, but when you're playing this DPS line, Fitz is actually the one that has to dictate how the dives are going to work and who they're going to go on. It's really hard for Sombra to just hack who you tell her to hack. She has to kind of get in position and tell you what's happening. So yeah, it makes a little sense, I guess, that Dynasty's dive isn't super clean. Okay, Spark showing us a pretty weird comp here, I would say. This is not a weird comp if you have Orisa. I'm not sure what the point of playing Rein instead of Orisa is if you expect this composition. I feel like Orisa is better against this type of stuff, against dive, than Rein is. When you're not using Lucio to run at someone, you're just bunkering. Why not just have the Orisa? The Orisa is like so hard for them to kill because of Fortify. They don't have a Discord. So I'm confused as to why they want to use Rein here. It's a very odd pick. They do take high ground right away. The dive teams are never going to want to go contest high ground at first. They're always going to want to go take this area in front of main or hookah. So here they find an isolated Godsby with the Sombra. No hack comes down, so they don't get any kills. Nothing's going to happen without that hack and that purple. It's just not happening. So now they've actually rotated back to play in their own hookah and touch point from there so they can support their Reinhardt. He just gets absolutely demolished though, and the drone gets LOS'd or something. It's like a weird drone spot. But Ocean dying is a big deal, but it doesn't matter. I don't understand why he's playing Rein, bro. That would not happen to Orisa. Okay, so Adora goes Torb now. Okay, they're just hard changing comps. So Adora now on Torb, Godsby on McCree, Sashin on Zarya. Why are they playing this without a Lucio? This is not, why are you using Rein Zarya in like a BAP Brig Torb bunker comp? So you're playing literally half of two different comps. I don't understand. Like maybe there's a way they make this work, but I don't know what it is. So I'm really interested to see like how they're using these cooldowns, what their setup here is. And to Dynasty's credit here, they're doing a really good job of playing around this composition, right? So what you want to do if you're Dynasty is make them feel like they have to cross a bunch of space to run on you because they don't have that Lucio, right? So you don't want to hold up close in them taking trades, right? Instead, you want to play out of their LOS. You play over here, so they have to walk into the open to come fight you. You play behind the pillar, right? So you're playing so that they have to cross a bunch of space into you, and that's when the fact that they don't have Lucio, but they're on Rein Zarya, kind of punishes them. And you can either try and isolate the people up front, or isolate the people in the back line and find kills that way, right? So Dynasty's doing a really good job playing into this comp. The tanks are doing a really good job kind of hiding over here and making it a big commitment to go on them. Godsby with a good rotation, though. I like giving your McCree control of the high ground here. But Gushui is dead outside of the drone. Yet again, Gushua. And the drone is dead. Godsby's cut off. They use Primal and Echo ults to clean up the fight. Prophet copies Zarya, which is one of the worst copies in the game, in my opinion. Fitz actually dies at the end. That's pretty significant, okay? That gives Hangzhou a window to push in where, like, Fitz will get back by the time the fight's happening, but they know they're not going to get pressured when they push in. Instead, Seoul says, haha, good joke, you actually will get pressured as you push in. We're going to Nano Monkey in here. We're going to Purple in here. We're going to Rally. We're just going to stuff you. Even though you have the tanky brawly comp, you don't have any ults. We have ults. We're just going to fight you. The Brig going down matters so much. The bomb comes in while the primal is disrupting. Seoul plays this so cleanly. This is actually so good from them. Hangzhou plays really bad compositions on the second point here. The first map, the first point, City Center, I felt that the dive mirror was not like crazy one way or the other. I felt that Seoul won the first fight basically just because they hacked the health pack at Mega and they were able to use the jump pad. So that lets them win first fight. And then retaking is hard. Hangzhou had a pretty decent retake, but neither team had super clean dives. Seoul just had one clean dive, and that's what won them. The fact that they won the first fight and they had one clean dive is all they needed to win the point. And then on Gardens, I felt like Seoul played really well around their win conditions and knowing how their comp worked in a non-mirror matchup. But I also think Hangzhou just played a really stupid comp and didn't need to push hookah either. It was very weird. It was very weird. So Spark's choice is Hollywood, which to me is a very, very dive-heavy map. Second point is just so dive-favored in my opinion. And first point's pretty good for dive also. Third point depends on the matchup, but dive is still very workable here as well. But yeah, second point, just the high ground is very, very, very dive-favored. So most teams are going to play dive here. I say that, and Spark has opted to roll out on another Rein Zarya comp with no Lucio. I think I know why they lose this series. Yeah. Okay. So early engage, kill again before the drone even comes out. Really aggro play from Seoul. You'd like to see it. I want to see them just keep fighting. Their brig is dead. Oh no, they actually lose this fight. I feel like they should not lose this fight. They killed the McCree right away, even before the drone, right? So Fitz is behind. Hacks the Zarya, which isn't a great hack. You really want to hack one of the supports, but whatever. The drone comes out. Sashin gets very low, but runs his ass back into this drone. Gesture is hard farming. But this drone is still alive. Badoshin is all the way in there. Toby is all the way in there, getting run on by a Zarya. And this is not bad for them, but Gesture just does not get all the way out when he needs to, and that means Marvel hesitates and Marvel dies. So now they got to go for the hero flank. Fitz is looking for a pick. He's farming. He's trying to get EMP up for the recontest. It's a tall order, though. Doshin just dies, and they know that the recontest isn't happening. So, yeah, not great from Dynasty. So I think they can either commit a lot harder when they go in and actually have people like shooting and breaking the drone. Gesture was the only one breaking drone. I don't know what the fuck Marvel was doing, but just break the drone, brother. Same with Prophet, just break the drone. But the thing is, if you don't get that, or you get that first kill and they trade a kill and you just fall back, that's okay, because you're going to build up really good ults in your comp and you're going to cycle ults in your comp. But instead, Gesture doesn't get all the way out, and they run on him even without a Lucio. So now, Fitz is farming. High ground control for the dive team is just going to be the case, like all the time on this point. They do nano into the backline. Well played from IDK to whip shot the Nano Monkey. The Diva Mech is getting really destroyed here. So they trade Nano Monkey here for, oh no, Fitz, no way. So they trade Nano Monkey here, right? For, oh, and Adora is on Tord now. So they trade Nano Monkey for, what's it called? High Noon and Square, which is a really good trade for them, right? They do have to give up a little bit of space, but it's not a big deal. Marvel does keep his mech. Okay, Fitz is ready for this EMP, and Godsby dominates him. Oh my god. So EMP totally wasted. This engage that they thought they would have all this tempo and all this control. All of a sudden they don't. Gesture, again, staying and fighting for a long time. Badoshin also gets really aggressive with the nade. Only finds the Zarya, though, despite the high risk. Gesture trying to boot people in. Prophet popping his ultimate because he's about to die and has to copy a Baptiste, which is definitely not ideal versus this composition. We're just playing to stall for time as much as possible. Keep farming, right? And Spark just can't run on them to punish in between cooldowns very well. And this is the issue. So far, Seoul has not had super clean dives or super clean ultimate usage, right? They had a Nano Monkey play, but it got whip shot. They had an EMP play, but it got interrupted by Flashbang. They had an Echo ult that they had to use just to copy a Baptiste just so Prophet wouldn't die. Like, they're not even getting ultimate value, and this still feels hard for Spark, right? So we'll see. They have their own ultimate bank built up here. I'd love to see an early rally. The early rally does come out. Gesture under a lot of pressure here. He does jump away. And the other thing is, this isn't a super high damage comp unless the Zarya is really torqued, right? Like, McCree Bap is not going to do a lot because the Rhine isn't going to get to you in most cases. So the Rhine isn't really going to do a lot of damage. So they're doing a good job of surrounding, not giving easy targets to go on. Again, they hack the Brig and sleep the Brig. They hack the Brig again. Meanwhile, Badoshin is dying. And they force the drone, but they don't ever break it. So let's see how Badoshin dies. That's super important. And then the other thing is they force drone, they don't break it. But they force drone, and then, oh, he accidentally falls. He feeds. He feeds. But they force drone. They never break the drone, but it does get forced. And that means that now that there's no drone, very simple to EMP. But if they don't have great follow-up, the EMP still isn't going to get them kills. They end up investing the Primal as well. Still can maybe die to Sashin here. And they are going to die to Sashin here. And, like, the thing is, the EMP that hits everyone inside the saloon, A, your Ana is dead, so you're not nading or sleeping anyone off of this EMP. And B, Prophet on Echo is going to have a really hard time following in there against this comp, even when they're EMP'd. And this is an extremely low damage composition. Like, no fucking damage. It's all utility. It's all utility. So that means when you want to kill something, you want to dive something, especially against a pure sustain composition like this, you really, really have to use your cooldowns on the same target, and you have to consistently get good ult value. And Seoul is just not super clean on this comp right now. I'm really excited to watch the finals, though, because when I watched Shanghai against London, I felt like London was playing a similar style to what Spark is, but they just played it with an Orisa, and they were like a very tanky, sustainy style. And Shanghai had a lot of good set plays and a lot of good ways to deal with it, and it was still a really close series. So I'm interested to see, because Seoul obviously played Shanghai really close. So I'm interested to see in the mirror, like, what differences the teams have. So a lot of sustaining going on here for Dynasty. Again, a Zarya copy. I don't know what Prophet is doing. Why is he copying Zarya, bro? This guy's trolling. Like, what is your team going to do with the Zarya, bro? I feel like this is just a throw. Yeah, Prophet has been copying Sombra, which I think is highly situational in the mirror. I think there's definitely times it's good, but it's very situational. He's copying Baptiste's twice. He's copying Zarya's twice. I think those are all really bad. So again, Dynasty tries to get aggressive here with this dive, but they... Like, again, let's just look at it from Fitz's POV. Because Fitz, the Fitz hack target is how the dive is going to happen. Okay? So he's planning to hack a McCree. They're never going to go kill this McCree with a hack. If they don't stop the Brig or the Bap, it's not going to happen. And Fitz actually ends up dying after it. And the Zarya... What? How did Sashin get up there? He just walks all the way up here? Are you serious? While he's doing this, the Sombra is dying. Good bubbles. Yeah, and they invested Rally here. They invested Primal here. They used Bomb here. And they're literally losing to, like, a grab at the end of the fight. I feel like Seoul is not playing well at all. They're not coordinating these dives at all. Alright, so let's see if Fitz can help set up an EMP play this time. What we need to see is a purple and immediate follow-up from at least Gesture or Prophet, but preferably both. Alright, so let's see. How is he going to deal with not getting flashbanged? He can't get flashbang from this far away, and he can still EMP them. EMPs at the same time as Gesture jumps in. That's great. And Prophet's already there to beam. Unfortunately, don't catch the Baptiste. So they're still able to get the drone off, but that doesn't matter. Because you have the echo damage and the monkey damage and like the monkey bubble to block everything off. So really well done. And let's see if Badoshin tries to nade or something to help out with the dive too. Because really you want to see them do all of these things together. Yep, he purples the Rhine, and that's why the Rhine is the one they kill. You love to see it. You love to see it. They nano after. Again, they copy a Zarya at the end of the fight. I don't know why Prophet is trolling. Again, it's just useless. It's a terrible copy. Why is he doing this? Why is he actually doing this? But yeah, that's the idea of how the dive needs to work. You get a hack, whether it's a hack or an EMP, you purple something, and you engage on it with the echo damage, right? It's so important. Echo is like all of your fucking damage. Okay. Let's take a look at Fitz here. He does not have time to farm an EMP. He needs to look for a hack. He's playing behind. They dive in. He looks for the hack, but the hack gets broken, I believe, by the turret there. But Bebe doesn't use drone, right? He walks up. He literally just dies. You hate to see it. But yeah, at least the attempt was there. Fitz needs to definitely look out for the Torb turret and try and position in such a way that the Torb turret is not going to break his hacks. But at least they did the thing again, right? They looked for a hack at the exact same time as their monkey was engaging, at the same time as their echo went in, and their Ana used her cooldowns too. That's just, you do it all fucking together. So this time Fitz is pretty close to the EMP. I feel like he doesn't need to look for a dive. He should farm. That's exactly what he does. He farms and gets forced out, but now he actually has the EMP. So can they set up the engage with the EMP purple? It should be doable right here. Oh, they're EMP bombing, even better. And the Ana flanks at the same time for a purple or a sleep. There's the nade. The drone's out. Holy shit, the bomb is massive. Super well played from them that time. Very ready to follow up on the EMP. Excellent. Alright, they're warming up a little bit towards the end of the map, except for Prophet still being a dumbass and copying Zarya all the time. It's so weird. Okay, now Spark opt to play the same comp except Sigma in defense. So that's really odd to me because in my mind Sigma is much weaker against both Echo and Sombra and like all these compositions. So I think it's super weird that there are all these heroes in these compositions, but actually, Dynasty opts to play a real slow comp. So Spark is on like a super weak version of the spam comps, the slow comps, right? This is the very old school version of the comp. And I say very old school, it's the one from like the preseason. This is the old school version of the comp that you don't really run anymore. Because neither of these heroes are super needed, in my opinion. But this is the like old school version. You have double shield frontline with pulls. You have the BAP. You have Zen for lots of spam damage. You have a high damage spam DPS, and then you have a high value Mei to push. Okay, they have a character that's bad in spam, a character that's bad in spam, a character that's bad in spam, and a character that's only good in spam if you have a tracer, or if you're playing against the Rhine. So these are the only two good heroes. They literally need to swap 4 heroes to win. So Seoul decides they don't want to play dive into this comp. They'd rather just take what should be a very free-ass matchup into this literal just inferior version of the same comp. And they instantly just walk on these terrible-ass comp. They lose one person, but the Rhine shield is just going to keep getting poked and keep getting poked. They kill the McCree, and yeah, this is just literally an unwinnable matchup unless the skill gap is like absolutely enormous. Like, if you told me that this team was Shock and this team was Vancouver, I still expect this team to win. That's how unwinnable this matchup is. It's like literally impossible. I say that and they're fucking getting clutched on. Holy shit, they get clutched on so hard. So this is just not good positioning. So the thing here is, I say this is the old school version of the comp. What people play now is they do play the Tracer with the Brig here, right? Like we've talked about this. That's what Mayhem does. That's what we do a lot of the time as well. It's map dependent. On some maps, Echo is just too good and you keep the Echo. But when you play double shield, you want that Brig Tracer in a very large amount of scenarios. And this backline can have a hard time dealing with the Tracer if they aren't set up correctly. And also the Mei is just awkward in a lot of situations now because her wall gets broken so quickly. So as we see, oh, and we don't even get good wall value. The Rhine actually gets boosted up. Where does Godspeed actually come from? Okay, so Godspeed's coming back, and he just comes out of security instantly. Forces drone and runs. Just peppering them in the back. The square comes out. Now there's no drone. Now they really have to turn and deal with this Tracer. Something bad is going to happen. They both turn. They step through the window. But the fire strike comes as the follow-up. And that's crazy that the Rhine helps the Tracer kill the backline. But now they're all dead. And that's it. You hate to see it. That's a giant outplay from Spark. There's no way Dynasty should lose that fight. They decide to go McCree to better deal with this Tracer. I think that's okay. I think a better option would be to go Brig, but Doshin is so close to Trance that I think this is a good swap. Keeping Trance is worth it. I also think Prophet could get off May, but he has Blizzard, so it's worth staying. Great pull play. It also, not only does it set up their Blizzard, but it also ruins the Baptiste ult. They get a Flux afterwards. Bongo afterwards. They really should have gotten way more kills from a lot of these plays. I feel like they just don't shoot the same targets, like, a lot. Like, there are times when stuff really, really should be dying. Yeah. So Prophet comes back on Tracer. Badoshin should just pop Trance in this next fight, and then they insta-swap comp. Let Prophet play Tracer. Nope, he goes Echo. I think Echo's fine here, too. Gushua is probably swapping here. I expect him to go full dive. He does go onto the monkey. Dynasty kind of on dive. But nope, they decide to actually make the swap. They feel like their halfway comp isn't going to work. They're keeping the Zen, though, because they have Trance. I like that. They just have to make sure they don't get naded if they Trance aggressively. And like I said before, when you're playing the Zen dive, you really want to focus enemy tanks, especially. So we see Gesture going for all these short-range dives just to force out whoever is frontlining for the enemy team. He's never diving into the backline. He's just looking at tanks and looking at Sombra. Looking at tanks and looking at Sombra. That's exactly the way he should play this. Now that they're committing, he dives to disrupt backline. Prophet playing with fire a little bit here, but that's okay. Card's already gotten halfway through. Now you need to start worrying, if you're the Zen, about being able to get good Trance value without the purple ruining everything. Okay, Godspeed is not going to frontline this time as the Sombra. Okay. He keeps getting forced out. He's come back, so now he's setting up for a dive on Badoshin. And where is the Brig? Wait, where is Toby? Toby is not in a position to be able to help Doshin. They're baiting, though, and they are able to bait with the Trance and just insta-kill Gushua. Okay, let me see how Badoshin plays this, because they're definitely baiting to try and get them to dive him. Like, look at this. This is intentional. He gets the Discord, he's vibing, and then he body blocks with the Trance. Yeah. That's a really well-played bait by Doshin and Seoul as a whole. Now, all of a sudden, with no monkey, anytime anyone has to touch point, they're just discorded and under a bunch of pressure. The Nano Echo does win the Echo duel, which is a super common thing to happen. Oh, and Toby leaves Doshin. This time, it's not a bait. He just kind of throws. So Prophet gets hacked and then gets flown on by the Nano Echo. So there's not a lot he can do there once he's hacked. Now Toby is trying to force the Sombra out, but misses his bash. And now Doshin is left to die. You hate to see it. If they wanted things to go differently there, either Doshin should have not pushed, but he can't just like stand here. So realistically, Toby needed to stay with him, but he did not. Doshin actually probably should have just gone this way, but yeah. Alright, so now things get a lot harder for Seoul. Spark has the high ground advantage. They have EMP already. All the space has to get crossed by Dynasty. They do get control of the close high ground. Spark not willing to heavily contest it. I think that's a good play. Instead, they're trying to hold their high ground. Fast engaged by Prophet onto Bebe. IDK needs to quickly get there to help out. He does show up to try and assist. There's a bomb engage, an EMP to try and counter the engage, but the EMP doesn't really do anything. Much higher value bomb from Marvel. Badoshin's on the Ana now, so it's a lot harder to successfully dive him, and the rally pushes through. So what it really comes down to is the start of this fight, this engage. So important here. Early Echo ult before Primal. So you want to use Echo ult Primal, and then when that's ending, use your real Primal, ideally. Right? And really good bomb from Marvel. That's the big takeaway here. So they actually get their both Primals forced early, which is not great. But this bomb just gets 2 really important kills. It's very well placed so that it covers the whole back area. And that not only splits the team, but gets a couple kills. Now the second Primal comes out. Sashin actually bombs. They're trying to clutch this. That is really weird in my opinion. They at least force an EMP. Wait, this is actually winnable. Wait, they're actually going to win this? How the fuck did they win that? What? Okay, so they bomb and Primal. They managed to kill Prophet, which really shouldn't happen, right? But Doshin is like doing his own thing somewhere. Sashin gets back into his mech as well. Gushua hides during the hack and doesn't die. Escapes back to his team. Now he dives in because Bebe's about to get Nano. He actually gets EMP'd and purpled and killed. Godspeed is just shooting everyone in the back while Gesture shoots them in the front. They nano Echo, and she just ints into them. Holy shit. Gushua actually did so much there. That was so much. Oh, Flickery with the follow. About 20 minutes ago. Sorry I missed that. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate the support. So Sombra gets forced out, but 10 seconds left. You just want to see a fast Echo ult from Adora to disrupt everything. Instead, Bebe just gets fucked up by a Nano Monkey. How does that even happen? What? Is there like a hack or something? Do they scout it? Okay, Fitz is all the way behind them. Bebe is by himself down here, bro. Where is IDK? Oh, no. Bebe, what are you doing, brother? Yeah, he just gets hacked, so he can't nade his feet. He's bubbled off, so he's not going to get an armor pack. Gets nano-monkeyed. You hate to see it. Alright, Soul's dive's getting a little cleaner. They find someone out of position. Fitz calls it out. They hack and nano-monkey engage. Fitz getting chased. Prophet's peeling for him. Adora's Primal isn't getting a lot done. Oh, they almost bashed that EMP, but instead the EMP goes off. It's a 6-man. No kills, though, because there's no damage. The Sombra gets forced out. The Monkey's dead. The Diva's baby. And the Echo is in Primal and is slept. So they get an EMP, but there's literally just no damage to follow it up. Baby goes down. Gushua's back. He'll have Primal soon. If Adora can live here, this is maybe winnable, and it's not winnable. Now, a lot of ults got built up by Soul there. A couple ults for Spark, but Soul is getting close to 5 ultimates here for this next fight, so it's very, very winnable for them. They're really only going to get one long fight to try and cap this. They get the early EMP, which is really good if they can kill Gushua before he can Primal, and they do that. So they use Doshin as bait again. But this time they don't have the trance, they have the EMP. So they're literally using Doshin as bait. Look at this. They have Fitz playing near him. They have Marvel playing near him, but they're having him play in an aggressive position to try and get them to dive. He's just vibing. Then they get a good EMP on the engage. Good bubble. Doshin still very nearly dies. Does end up living. They get multiple kills here with just the EMP. Bomb to stagger everything. Yo, wait. Did that bomb like... oh, I hit the wrong thing. Did that bomb like body block? What happened there? Yeah, I think that bomb got a body block. That's actually crazy. I've never seen that before. What the hell? Oh no, there's no one on this side of the bomb. Okay, okay. I thought he actually split someone on one side of the door from the other with the bomb, but he did not. Alright, so a lot of ults here for Spark. So still very, very winnable for them, okay? EMP and bomb down for Dynasty. They're close to rally. Spark should be able to get all 6 ults in this fight. So smart play again from Seoul. They get a fast hack and they nano monkey, and Bebe is gonna fucking die, dude. Bebe actually dies to this. What is IDK doing? How are you letting this guy fucking die, bro? How is the whole team letting this Ana die to this? She's literally in spawn. Why is she by herself over there? Why? That's an insane throw. And then also Godspeed dies while EMPing. Does Doshin sleep him or something? What happens here? They know where he is. They just push him right as he EMPs. Good aggressive play from Seoul. I really like it. Prophet does end up dying. But who cares? He probably would have just wasted his ult anyways. Now it just comes down to you have to play on point together and sustain and not die to those really high value ultimates. The Brig going down is huge. With that said, Adora is copying Brig and already on his own rally. This is one of those situations where a Brig copy is not bad because it is so brawly and everyone's on the point together. I do like Prophet copying D.Va though because Bomb is so good in this situation at clearing off the point. He is going to go ahead and throw his bomb in the air. And boom, there it goes. And they are going to win here. So really, that just comes down to 2 times in a row at end of second and end of third. Bebe is dying to dives that he does not need to die to. That's an issue of both him and IDK making mistakes, not positioning correctly, not being ready for dives. Like, ugh. But they should have held on second and held on third. That was very big mistakes from them, but good job from Seoul to capitalize on it, and they did find some good windows to make those plays, right? Now, heading into the third map, this was also Spark's choice, so they went to Hollywood. They were like, let's pick a dive map, but then they tried not to play dive. They tried to play the this weird, like, Rhine bunker style. Like, Gushua is just allergic to Orisa or something. It's very weird to me. So yeah, but then if they really want to play this weird ass style, then Anubis definitely makes sense as a pick. Hanamura also could make sense as a pick, I think, but it would be harder for them to play it in attack. It's pretty doable on attack in this map, I think. So wait, did they expect dive? Is that what just happened? Who scouts for them? Because someone scouts, they see the comp. Adora, I guess? Adora sees Torbarissa, and they're like, oh, okay. We don't play the Zarya and the Lucio. We're going to play our bunker style. Wait, no, they do still have Lucio. What? Okay. I mean, this isn't a terrible comp. So this is definitely a comp that I think has synergy and can work with itself, right? It is a comp as opposed to the comp they played before, which was just like random mishmash of heroes. This is a comp, okay? It's a slower Rhine comp. Not as slow as their Lucio-less comps, but it's a slower control-based Rhine comp that uses the Sigma to hold a lot more space and the BAP to sustain so that you can hold space. But you can also get aggressive by throwing your Sigma shield in between their front line and back line to block heals. So you don't always just have to play slow. You can still use wall and Sigma shield to cut the team in half and look for picks. Okay? It's not terrible at all. It's maybe not that good into this composition, because I think to be able to beat this composition, you have to play a lot faster and more aggressive. I think this comp is happy that you're playing a Sigma Bap version and not like a Diva Anna or a Diva Moira, like very fast aggressive comp. I think this is a Rein comp they're not super scared of, but at least it is a cohesive composition. Seoul has spread out so much to take wide space so that Orisa is the only good target to run on, right? And that they have to cross a bunch of open space to do that. So here we go. They are forced back. Now all of a sudden, Fitz is a little isolated. Gushua is just getting hammered, though. His HP can never be high. Shield just gets broken. And they're just so indecisive. They never actually push anything. They never actually commit. They need to use their Mei Wall and actually run on something. I really would rather them, when they see this comp, I would rather them just play Orisa Rein. Excuse me, man. Because they're not going to eat the pull. So you can just speed and use pull, and you can catch a Bap, you can catch a Brig with speeding and using pull, because they don't have a Diva to eat it. So I really think playing Orisa here when it's a more open map and it's hard to really cross all the space and run on them, I feel that that's very valuable. Now as they try and cross space, they get Bob thrown at them, which Bob is not a super important ult for Dynasty, and it forces out their wall and their drone on the side of Spark. So it's actually a trade Dynasty can be happy with. Now they try and push out again. The drone is still on cooldown, and they get hit with the fat pull flux. That should be some deaths here. They actually only get one kill. The BAP is a very important one, though. And Gesture also definitely should not be dying. That's really, really fucking bad. There's no way he should die while the enemy team is in flux. See if we can figure out what happens. They use Square, obviously. He has his shift. He just tries to, he doesn't use the shift, and he just tries to cross point with his fat pumpkin head and gets 2-tapped through Square. A really bad play from Gesture. Truly a bad play. Alright, so now they're pushing into the Mega again. They have all this space to cross again. This time Seoul has their Square to use. Let's see, Toby is not playing split this time because he wants to play to get Square value. That's good. They're also going to have to push into a Torbolt, which will be really hard. But what you have to expect here is that they're going to play aggro with their beat, right? I want them to play aggro with their beat. They're just vibing, though. They're just sitting here. They're just getting spammed. They're just getting their drone forced. They're not doing anything. They're so indecisive. Do a different rotation, bro. Do a different rotation. They don't even speed their high noon. They're just chilling with their high noon. They Molten Core. Finally, they use the beat, but Sashin is already dead. There's nobody in this blizzard that's going to die. They're actually getting run on as the blizzard ends. They don't know how to play this style at all. They're so scared. They're so indecisive. They just have to go fast. That's a good stun. Godspeed breaking ults with his flashbang all set. Oh, Sashin came back, but he gets pull rocked. Oh, can he live? Can he live? He uses flux. Oh, he dies during flux. That's a tick. That can definitely be a second tick if they stay on point. Really cheeky shatter from Gushua. Kills Gesture. They're finally bunkering inside point, so their comp isn't that bad. But they're going to lose. It's too little too late. They don't get there all as a unit. They just never have a time where it feels like they use wall and speed to run on someone, and then they can use their drone while they're running on someone to stay alive and get a kill. They always have to like back up and use their wall and their drone defensively, and then they go in again before their drone is back up. It's actually so bad. I really can't believe that they're making that level of mistake. Spark is playing very, very poorly on this rush style. Every time they play Rhine, they just look so bad. And it's not because Gushua is like really bad at Rhine, right? They just clearly don't play that style as a team. And when they play the bunker style, I don't know why they think Rhine is better than Orisa anyways. Very odd, bro. Very odd. So again, they're playing this weird-ass Rhine bunker comp in defense. Seoul is just going to do what they did last time on Hollywood first point and say, let's just pick the greedy, better, like old school double shield comp. I really don't think they need Hangzhou. I think Hangzhou is not the play. I think Ashe is much better. Okay, I at least respect this. Spark decides they want to get in there and get aggressive. They know the enemy Hangzhou is playing outside the choke, so they're just going to try and run in and fight. Their Rhine is dead, though, so all of a sudden this is going to get very, very hard for them. Gesture goes down also, so more stabilizing potential for Dynasty for sure. So I do like that aggressive play running in there. I think, why not just do that with a real comp? Oh my god, they really haven't seen Fitz. What? Well, Gesture's going to see him. So they know he's there, but that does make the team a little scared. They lose a lot of their positioning. So this flank from Fitz actually gets insane value. Even though it doesn't get any kills, it lets this whole team rotate onto the high ground together for free. That should never, ever happen. And they get the pick on Godspeed. That's the series right there. If they lose this fight, I do not know what the fuck to say. They use Square first. Bebe is going to be able to push out with Square in a moment, though. It's too late. Gushue is already dead. Drone was not used until after 3 people died. Bebe just did not play well on BAP at all. They did not get good drone value at all. Wow. Hangzhou played like shit. That's a bad team. Well, maybe that's not fair. Maybe not a bad team, but they had a very, very bad showing. That looked really bad. That's not something Architect is going to fix. So my feelings here, Dynasty, I don't like that when they play the slow comp, they play the very old school version of it. That's kind of weird. That makes me think bad things. I also think in Dive, they were very uncoordinated at the start of the series. It definitely got better as time went on, but it's nowhere near where it needs to actually be. As far as their Sombra setting up dives so that they can get value with purple and with monkey jump and with echo damage, and that they can cycle their ults well and consistently get good value out of their echo ults, because Prophet is like copying Zarias and Baptistes, which is garbage. And their EMPs are not getting follow-up, or they're getting interrupted. So their ultimate value is not good. They had actually a lot of good bombs. Michelle's bomb usage was really good this series, in my opinion. So that's an interesting thing that obviously he's not really... I mean, I guess now he's just a diva player, just an off-tank player. That's just his role now, I guess. Or Marvel, I mean. Not Michelle, Marvel. I guess that's just a thing now. So yeah, he had really good bomb usage. That's interesting that that's one of the things that he's really good at on the hero, but that was really rough from Spark. That's one of those series where if that's my team, I walk away from that, I'm like really upset at how bad we played. I'm upset that we played bad. I'm upset that our comps were bad. I'm upset that our map picks were bad. Like, that's just... There's just not really much to be happy about there. Except, I mean, in the dive mirror, they didn't play that bad, actually. Like, City Center was pretty close. Hollywood was pretty close. Just a couple mistakes and overcommitments and a couple really clutch plays from Seoul. But Hollywood actually was pretty close, and City Center was pretty close. I wish they would have just played dive, bro. I wish they would have just played dive the whole time. It was really a very winnable matchup for them if they just kept playing dive, but they decided against it. On part of Hollywood, they're playing this weird ass fucking Rhine comp. I hate it. I hate it. All right. 5 mapper. Whew. All right. We will head into this next.